Hello Thomson families, my name is Natalie Miller and I am your very proud principal here at Thomson Elementary School. I would like to thank you in advance for watching this parent orientation video. Typically we hold parent orientation in the high school auditorium, which allows for a little bit more back and forth, but of course because of the circumstances surrounding this year, I'm doing a video parent orientation. In this orientation, I'm going to go over some of the upcoming opportunities, what your child's day will be like, and some other important information. First of all, I would like to start by sharing with you our Thomson Elementary motto. We are the home of the Thomson Teddies. If you didn't know, Thomson Elementary houses both kindergarten, developmental kindergarten, and then one section of early childhood preschool, special needs preschool. So everything that we do is geared towards little people and the start of their school career. Whether your child will be online or with us and in person, our motto is, in the end, it is a good beginning that counts. And regardless of the circumstances this year or what educational option you chose for your child, we are here just to make sure that that is exactly what happens, that your child gets the very best beginning to their education as absolutely possible. Today, as I said, I'm going to share with you some important information, starting with getting to know us. I know, as from being a mom myself, that there can be a lot of anxiety surrounding the start of the school year. This school year obviously is going to look a little bit different. We can't do some of the traditional things that we've done in the past, but we want to make sure that we provide our families and students with opportunities to get to know us, to see the building. So we've provided 4 different opportunities for you. The first, obviously, is this parent orientation video. This video is mainly for parents and caregivers. Most of the information that I'm going to share will be geared towards our in-person or face-to-face learners, but it is important for all of our online learners as well, to parents of our online learners to listen in as well, as there will be some information as well that pertains to you. So number 1 is our parent orientation video. Second, we will be doing next Tuesday and Wednesday, August 11th and 12th, a drive-through meet and greet. This is something similar to what we did in the spring that allowed students to come and pick up their items. Depending on your students, who your student's teacher will be, whether they are face-to-face or online, you will have a day that you can come up. You will enter through the entrance nearest the baseball fields, kind of pop your trunk or your hatch, if you will. You'll pull up to a table that will be marked with your child's teacher's name, so you can say a quick hello, and at that time, your teacher will be placing in your car the red folder, your child's red folder, which we'll talk about in a minute, and it will just give them an opportunity to see their teacher face to face and give a quick hello. Obviously, because we'll be moving several cars through, this won't be a long process. There won't be a ton of time, but like I said, it will familiarize you with your teacher and get that ever important red folder. Additionally, your teacher will be sending you a short video of their classroom, kind of a peek inside the classroom. Not only will this help the children feel more comfortable coming, but you'll get a peek inside where they'll be spending their day. Additionally, on Thursday, August the 13th, I will be offering 10-minute tours of the building. You will receive, following this parent orientation, a link to a Sign Up Genius. Sign Up Genius is really easy to use. You will go on, you'll select a time that works for you anytime during the day, and you'll come up and I will be giving very, very quick, in order to accommodate all 300 of our families, or approximately 300 of our families, quick 10-minute tours of our building where I'll walk you through, I'll show you where PE will be, we'll take a peek at the playground, I'll show you where the different classrooms are, so you can kind of get a feel for the building as well. This is especially important if your child hasn't ever been to Thomson before, or they're feeling really apprehensive. If you've got a super confident kid, that might not be necessary. And I want to assure you, on that first day of school, we will have a tremendous amount of help in the hallways to help our little ones get to where they need to go. This is also a time I would like to say that we will not be allowing parents to walk their children to their classrooms on the first day of school. what we are encouraging parents to do is kiss and go at the front door, because we cannot allow parents into the building this year unless there is an emergency or it's deemed necessary for office paperwork, at least while we're in this phase for the state reopening plan. So look for that link for the sign up for the 10-minute tour. Watch for that email video from your classroom teacher, and make sure to join us for our drive-through meet and greet. Like I said, during that drive-through meet and greet, you will be getting your child's red folder. In this red folder, it will have a cover on it that has your child's name on it. This is for our face-to-face learners. While all students will get this because it will have a tremendous amount of school information in it, this is extremely important for our face-to-face learners to bring back and forth to school every single day. This is one of the easiest ways to communicate with us, send things to school so they don't get lost or misplaced, and they get to where they need to go. Also, you will be picking up your child's transportation tag at that drive-through meet and greet, another extremely important school tool that we'll talk about in a little bit. But again, child's red folder, back and forth every single day. In the folder, you can see we've started putting them together. There will be a return to school side that are items that we need you to fill out and look over and return to school, as well as items for you to keep at home. I've gotten some questions about what the school day will look like and our hours of operation. Our school day officially begins at 8:35. Our buses will begin to unload between 8:15 and 8:25 for breakfast. Students will come in. We are a universal breakfast school, which means all students are allotted an opportunity for a free school breakfast. This will be grab and go style. Students will grab their choice of, grab their breakfast and take it back to their classroom. Again, students will unload the buses at 8:25 to enter the building, and parent drop-off will begin no later than 8:25 as well. Students will enter their classrooms immediately upon entering the school building. The school day ends at 3:28 with the exception of our early childhood preschool program, which is on a half-day schedule. So you might be wondering, what will my child be doing all day? School will look a little bit different this year. We all know that. While kids are in their classroom, they will not be required to wear masks. However, and they will be participating in kindergarten curriculum. So that means that they will be participating in readers workshop, writers workshop, math workshop. Those workshop models allow kids to get up and move from station to station. They'll be participating in whole group instruction as well as small group instruction, or even one-on-one instruction and intervention. They'll also have a daily special. They will go to PE twice a week. PE, as much as possible, will be held outside. Outside in our backfield. We have a perfect place for Mr. Hall, our PE teacher, to be working with kids outside, as well as they will have music twice a week. Music will be a combination of a push into the classroom, potentially outside, weather permitting, underneath of our pavilion, or it could even take place in our music room. Our technology special with Mrs. Lockery will take place once a week. That is an opportunity for students to learn how to use various forms of technology and participate in some STEM activities, and that will take place in their classroom once a week. Again, teachers will do movement breaks. They'll participate in units of study around science and math, science and social studies topics, and then health in our second step, or this year we're moving also to include the Positivity Project, which I'm very, very excited about. And you'll learn more about that as the year goes on. They'll obviously have lunch and recess. Recess, they will go outside with their classroom, and we'll be dividing up our playground into sections. So students will play in a relatively, I don't want to say small section, but in a specific area with their class, and then they'll rotate. So they will have an opportunity to play in all of the playground, in all of the sections in the playground over the course of several days. Rest time, this, as you can tell, can be a very long day for some of our kids. So what we do is after lunch, typically there's a quiet time, a quiet, restful time that kids can just sort of chill. I will tell you that if kids are tired and they fall asleep, especially in those first few weeks, we're going to let them sleep, because if they fall asleep in class with everything going around them, it tells us they are tired. Now, if that continues to happen for several weeks, you might get a phone call from your child's teacher to just say, hey, Johnny's still falling asleep in class. You might want to check his bedtime. Also, speaking of bedtimes, I want to mention that our kindergartners are going to come home very, very tired. I know that schedules have probably been a bit off. If you're anything like myself and my family, I know my daughter's bedtime has somehow shifted later and later and later as the summer has went on. So we're working now to back that back up. Kindergarten kids need about 10 to 12 hours of sleep each night. So if you think about what time your child has to get up in the morning and you back that up 10 or 12 hours, that is ideally a very good bedtime for them. Again, I want to encourage you to kind of expect your child to be tired, and that's okay. I know for me, I always share that I wish my daughter was one of those kids that when she was tired, she just curled up and fell asleep in my lap, and she's not. So I've had to prepare myself. I prepare myself at the beginning of every school year to kind of have some of those breakdown moments that are out of exhaustion. So be ready for whatever kind of child you have, because they are going to be engaged in learning and fun and relationship building with their teachers and their peers. So just be ready for that. They're going to have exciting days ahead of them. We are going to be implementing a motto called Masks While Moving. What I want parents to understand is in the district's Return to Learn coronavirus preparedness plan, we have said that students in grades DK through 4 will wear masks while in common areas. So what this means is your child will be, if they ride the bus, they will be required to wear a mask on the bus and while in the hallways or transitioning from one place in the building to another. So if they have to go to the bathroom, they'll go to the bathroom. So each child will need their own mask. We will also have masks available. When students are in their classroom with their cohort of peers or their little family group in their classroom, they will not be required to wear a mask. If a student chooses to wear their mask, they will also not be forced to take it off. So a little bit about masks. One of the things also that when they go outside for recess, or if they are participating in education outside, so that PE, the music, or their teacher takes them outside for a lesson, they will not be required to wear their mask while outside. Nor will our staff members, as long as our staff members are maintaining that 6 feet of distance from our students. Another thing is I have ordered for every single student a little, we're gonna call them mask keepers, but it's a badge, if you think a badge clip that has kind of like the zip on it, so that students, when they're not wearing their mask, it will be clipped to their body. That will prevent it from falling on the ground or, getting mixed up with somebody else's. When they take their mask off, they'll clip it onto their clip, so it's on their person at all times. So one thing I would encourage is if your child has not been used to wearing a mask and they will be returning to school in the fall for face-to-face instruction, that you practice wearing that mask around the house now. It gets easier the more you do it. So a little bit about masks. One thing I like parents to know is that communication is key. And it's a key factor in you having and your child having a positive experience here at school. There are several ways that we will communicate with you throughout the school year. Our Thomson Tidbits is our school newsletter. There will be flyers, classroom newsletters, the telephone, email. I have put up our attendance line. Also, our district website is a great spot for communication. You can also sign up on our district website for something called Ed Alerts. And these are text messages that could be sent out to you as well. Excuse me. Additionally, I will utilize from time to time Center Voice, which is a voicemail system where I can leave a message, it will call your phone, and a recorded message will play. One thing I want to encourage you to do is anytime you miss a call from a 591 number, I encourage you to wait for the voicemail to come through before you call us back, because oftentimes it could be a classroom teacher or a specials teacher or myself, and all messages go through the main office. So if you call and say, I just missed a phone call, we may not know who was trying to reach you. So listen to those voicemails before you call us back. I like to say our doors are open, always open. While this year that will look a little bit different, our doors may not physically be open, we are here to communicate with you. I always will encourage you to start with your child's teacher if you have a question or a concern. And I share this story every year at parent orientation. When I was a classroom teacher, I taught first grade, and we were working on time. And I had a little girl come in a little bit late, and she said, it was before I was married, Miss Hatch, can I still get breakfast? And I said to her, I said, Madison, check the time. Breakfast is available till 8:45. And she looked up and she said, I said, have we passed 8:45? And she said, no. And I said, okay, head on down to breakfast. Not a big deal. I was trying to use that as a teachable moment of why we need to tell time. Well, when she got home, she told her mom that her mom said, oh, did you miss anything at school? And she said, no, but Miss Hatch told me to check that we needed to get a clock. And I was like, holy cow. So the mom, of course, luckily I had a good relationship with her, and she called me first. And I was able to explain to her that, no, I did not tell your daughter to check the clock. I told her to get a clock. I told her to check the clock. And I'm so grateful that she called me as opposed to sitting at home being upset and wondering. Having said that too, I will tell you, please call if you're questioning something, but also I want you to also maybe sometimes believe half of what your child comes home and tells you, and we'll believe half of what your child comes to school and tells us. Because sometimes we all know that kids have a tendency sometimes to change the story, and not intentionally, but if something seems off to you, please don't hesitate to contact your child's teacher or myself. Also, breakfast, lunch, and daily snack. We will have these every single day. As I shared earlier, we are a universal breakfast school, which means every student has the opportunity to have a free breakfast. Breakfast can consist of a hot choice or a cold cereal choice. You will be getting a menu for both breakfast and for lunches, so that you can determine ahead of time if your child likes the options that are available. Lunch, for those that do not qualify for free and reduced lunch, is $2.50 per meal. Again, this will be kind of a bagged lunch or a boxed lunch type style this year, which will help tremendously for the kids. One thing is that our school lunch typically has two choices. Since we're starting implementing a new program, and kids will be eating in the classroom this year, since we can't congregate in the gym, we are starting the year with one choice, and then we hope to move up to two choices. But again, just watch that school lunch calendar. Additionally, students that bring a cold lunch or a home lunch, as we like to say, will be able to purchase milk for 40 cents. If you believe that you qualify for free and reduced lunch, you can fill out an application on our Davison Community Schools website or via the paper application that will be available to you in the red folder after when you pick it up at our drive-through meet and greet. Additionally, snack. Due to food allergies, we try not to do class snacks, although we do have snacks available for students that do forget them. And we do encourage parents to pack a healthy snack. One thing this year, since we will be eating lunch in the classrooms, is if your child, we are very mindful of food allergies. One of our largest food allergies that we encounter at school are peanut allergies. If your child is in a classroom with a child with a known peanut allergy, you will be receiving a letter that comes home the first day of school stating that we are asking that you do not send peanut butter as a cold lunch option. So please be mindful and watch for that letter. Again, we will have breakfast and lunch every day available, and a daily snack will be had in the classroom as well. One of the things that I also encourage all of our kindergarten families to do is to go online and register for a Pay For It account. Pay For It is what the school utilizes that is like a prepaid lunch. I know I do it for my own daughter. I put on $25 at a time for her hot lunch and breakfast choices, and it works kind of like a debit card, if you will, with her student number. And and then I also have it set up that when she gets to a low balance or a balance under $5, I get an email that says, hey, Natalie, you need to go back on and add some more money to your child's lunch account. So look for that on our website as well. Now to one of the biggest things for our kindergarten families is riding the bus. I know that putting a child on the big yellow bus for the first time can be a very anxious time for our families. That is why our transportation tags are extremely important. On that drive-through meet and greet day, you will get your child's transportation tag. We ask that you attach the transportation tag to the top loop of your child's backpack. This one just happens to be a parent pickup tag. For parents that have chosen to ride the bus, you will get your child's bus tag. On the back of the bus tag, it will say, have your address or the address they are being dropped off at. We encourage you to please double check that when you get that. Also, if you are a parent who has said, no, I'm doing parent pickup only, you will get a parent pickup tag. This needs to be on your child's backpack every day. Again, even our bus students will also have a parent pickup tag, so that if you have a day that you need to pick up your child, you will have that available to you. I know for our family, dependent on my husband's work schedule, there are days he can pick our daughter up and there are other days she has to ride the bus. So we've always just kept that parent pickup tag, or the tag we're not using, we've kept it tucked up on a magnet on the fridge so we always knew right where it was at. And the other thing about the bus tag is please, please, please only have one tag in the pouch. I know we've had parents say, well, can't I just put the one on top? But these flip back and forth, and we only want to see the tag that tells us where the child is going home. So bus tag, transportation tag is very, very important. For our bus riders, it is also important to note that kindergartners are not let off the bus without a visible adult being present. So make sure to be checking those bus times. I will say that in the first couple of weeks, I ask that you be very patient. Your child will arrive home safely to their destination. The first couple of weeks, your child, it may or may not be right on their exact drop-off time. So I ask you to be patient, but I also encourage you, if they're going to be riding the bus, have them ride the bus from the beginning. Even on the first day of school, if you put them on the bus, it is not uncommon on those first couple of days of school for me to have parents standing out front as buses arrive so they can wave to their child and make sure they made it here safely. So just so you're aware, if your child is riding the bus in the morning and you're feeling a little apprehensive, put them on the bus and then come on up to school so you can wave hello to them. Additionally, this helps with timing, and it helps our drivers get to know the kids and get to know their runs faster, and makes the whole system run more smoothly. Parent drop off for both and for the morning, like I had shared earlier, our valets, we have a valet service. Our valet service will run from approximately 8:25. I'm working on some plans to have that start a little bit sooner, and if so, we will definitely be communicating that to you. You will enter the east entrance, which is again the entrance closest to the baseball fields. You'll drive straight back. It creates a loop. There will be staff members out there to open your child's car door. One thing we ask is that you have your child ready to exit the vehicle right away. This just helps keep that whole process going and running smoothly. Parents that are going to walk their child to the front door, you may do so at 8:25. And remember that we are asking and requiring all parents to kiss and go at the door. Parents will not be allowed to walk their child to class this year. Any student that does arrive after 8:35 in the morning will need to be signed into the office, or a staff member will meet you at the door. Picking up your child, if you are picking up your child, or you are before the school day ends, you must come to the front entrance and be buzzed into the office. Students will not be released to parents at the classroom, so don't try to sneak down. If you do get buzzed into the office, come straight to the office and we will call your child down to you, or down to the office from their classroom. When signing out early, which we hope can be avoided at all costs, you'll write your child's name, you'll enter your name or the person, whoever's picking up the child, and the reason for leaving early. For example, we ask that you be specific. Is there an appointment from doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, so on and so forth. One thing I always say is safety trumps convenience when it comes to picking up our kids. So please make sure that you are mindful of this and that you abide by our parent pickup policies and procedures. Picking up students at the end of the day. While we are still working out some of the details of how this is going to work from a logistical standpoint, you will be picking up your child from the door closest to their classroom, which means we will have students exiting the building by the library, at the gym, at the east entrance, and at our parent drop-off. So we will be beginning parent pickup at approximately 3:10 every day. This will allow us to get our parent pickup students out of the building prior to dismissing our buses. One of the things that you will get in your child's red folder next week is a map indicating what door you will pick up at. So you'll kind of have a map of our building and say, okay, I'm in Mrs. Williams' room 2. I know I go to the library, or doors nearest the library, or I'm in Mr. Collins's class. I'm gonna go pick up my child at the doors where you typically would drop off in the morning. One of the things that I want to remind you is that any person picking up your child must have a photo ID, and they must be on your child's emergency contacts. So that's where that parent view comes into play for accuracy. If you do not have if grandma is picking up and grandma's not on the parent contact list, the emergency contact list, your child will not be released to their grandparents. So please make sure that you've logged into Parent View and checked that out. Parent View is where you also selected whether you wanted face-to-face or online learning. Again, you'll want to park in the lot that is closest to the door. And we ask that all of our parents, whenever you're on school property and you're moving in your automobile, to please be very mindful of those that are walking in the parking lot and our very small children. If you are running late for some reason, please don't hesitate to give us a call so we can let your child know. Sometimes kids get a little bit nervous if they're thinking mom should have been here, and most of the time mom might have got stuck at a train or stuck in traffic, and this allows us to say, hey, buddy, mom's gonna be here or dad's gonna be here, they're just running a little bit late. But again, our parent pickup will take place from 3:10 until 3:25. So if you can plan on that for parent pickup, that would be most helpful. Again, I want to reiterate again that any adult picking up a child from school must have a photo ID. And please, as much as our staff will get to know you and recognize you, please don't assume that we will. From time to time, we may have to swap out a person at a parent pickup door, or we may have a sub in the office. So always, if you're coming to pick up a child, whether it's during the school day or at the end of the school day, please, please, please be sure that you or your designated person have their ID on them and are on that emergency contact list. At this time, I also want to briefly touch on custodial issues. While in no way, shape, or form do I need to have a parent's custodial paperwork, if there is a reason for us to have it because a student should not be released to a parent, please make sure that you have provided our office with a copy of that paperwork. If custody is not an issue, then we do not need it. So just be mindful, if there is a reason for us to have it, please make sure that we do. Again, I want to reiterate one last time, we will go by what's on this bus tag. So please make sure that you have checked it every morning and that the way home, this is all about the way home, not the way to school, that this is correct for how you want your child to go home at the end of the day. Any changes to this, we ask that you have them into our office by 3 o'clock in the afternoon so that we can make changes. Please do not email teachers bus transportation changes or leave it on a teacher's voicemail because they're busy teaching and they may not get that message until after dismissal. So please, if there's a change and we realize changes happen, please contact our office because we can always give your child a temporary tag for the day. Medication. We know that from time to time that medication in and of itself, kids do need to take. Some kids take a daily medication. Sometimes kids have a temporary medication. We cannot give medication to any child without the proper documentation that is filled out by a child's doctor. So if your child has a daily medication or a rescue medication or even an occasional medication, we've had children who suffer from severe headaches before who have kept Tylenol on hand here at school. If your child has a medication like that they take on a regular or as a rescue medication, please make sure that you've contacted our office so that we can make sure that you have the proper paperwork filled out. Medication must be dropped off by a parent, so you'll need to make arrangements with our office to make sure that we get that medication ahead of time. That includes very simple things like Tylenol, aspirin, cough syrup itself, and any other types of over-the-counter medication. If your child does have an EpiPen, the state requires that we receive the entire dose, which is actually both EpiPens. So we can no longer just accept one EpiPen out of a 2-pack because of how quickly sometimes children do need them. Kids may carry cough drops if needed. So once we get to allergy season or cough season, if it is just a common cold cough, students will be able to are able to have cough drops with them. If there are any medical issues or your child has a health concern, please make sure that you've notified our office so we have the proper also health care plans in our office. One thing I always like to mention is that at Thomson, accidents do happen. So it is a good idea while we have clothes available here at Thomson Elementary. If you would like to keep a change of clothes in your child's backpack in a Ziploc bag, that is very helpful. I will tell you that if a child has an accident at school, we will probably not call you. It's part of the life that we live with little ones. We'll help, we'll voice guide them through changing clothes if need be, but we'll change their clothes. We don't make a big deal about it. We'll put their clothes in a bag, send them home. If they need to borrow clothes from us, you'll get a little note that says, please wash our clothes and return them, and off we go. So accidents happen, but they're not a big deal. One thing that you'll hear a lot about this year is the Cardinal Code. And Cardinal Code, if you aren't already aware, stands for courteous, attentive, respectful, dependable, and is supportive of our school. And this year, not only are we asking the students to follow the Cardinal Code, but we're asking parents to follow the Cardinal Code. We are very aware that this school year is going to look and feel a little bit different. And as much as I ask you that you give us grace, we have had some extremely supportive parents that have been asking about, have been very, very gracious in us maybe not having all the answers just yet, and being a little more delayed in some of the things that we would normally have had out to you well before right now. So I appreciate your support and you giving us a little bit of grace and the grace that you've shown us thus far this year. One thing I also want to mention is we do have a very active PTO and a very helpful PTO. Our PTO typically meets the third Monday of each month. And so I want to invite all of you to join us at our first PTO meeting of the year on Monday, September the 1st at 6 p.m. And as that draws closer, please watch our newsletters for location time, or I'm sorry, a location, but please be mindful that we do have a PTO, and I would love to have your involvement with that organization. A couple other quick important notes as we get towards the end of this parent orientation video. One thing that we ask is that as you begin shopping for backpacks, please no backpacks with wheels. I don't know how popular these are anymore, but you can imagine little ones getting from place to place are often looking around, and we don't want to have those trip and fall accidents over backpacks with wheels. Also, please be mindful of the footwear. We do ask that kids do not wear flip-flops. Sandals are fine, but we do ask that they have a back on them. And tennis shoes or shoes with rubber soles must be worn on PE days for safety. We do have picture day planned for September the 19th. We do collect box tops for education. There is a box top app now. It's no longer cutting out the little squares. And please watch for an additional flyer on our Thomson teddyware and PTO tumbler cup orders and sales. As we go into this year, I want to thank you in advance. One, for listening to me. Two, for supporting us, for the support that you will give your child, and I am expecting a great year. I've been collecting my masks, various masks of sizes and textures and colors, so I can try to match them to my outfits for the day. But I look forward to meeting all of your children, again, whether they're with us virtually or face-to-face, and getting to know your child and getting to know you. I appreciate, again, I know some of this can be overwhelming, but we are all in this together, and it's going to be a great school year. Again, we'll see you. School starts the 17th. This week, we will be mailing out the ever important class placements, so please watch for that. If your child is missing an immunization, they will need to have all of their vaccines or the waiver from the Genesee County Health Department prior to starting school. So in your mailing that will be mailed out this week, which is the week of August, we're hoping to mail them tomorrow, so August the 5th, you will receive the placement letter and any missing immunizations, along with information for our meet and greet opportunities and a welcome letter from your child's teacher. Again, thank you for listening. It's going to be a great year.